Andrew Duff's on the sidelines warming that golden arm up. And the Fayette Academy Vikings, who we saw their kicker in pregame, Rich, and the youngster can really kick the football.
Has an extremely good leg on him. Very strong, very steady. He really looked good in the pregames.
This may be one of the best AA teams in the whole state association. And number 69 for Fayette has it teed up. That's Jason Teague. He has a good leg. Now we've backed up inside the 10. We're standing at about the 7. The kick is away, and it's a high kick that's going to be fielded by Gordon at the 10. And he's coming up the right side, looking for a little bit of a crease, and has got a little crease. Comes out over the 30-yard line, is going to be knocked out of bounds at the 31, and that's where the Lee Academy Colts will take over. First down and 10 yards to go at their own 31-yard line. Pretty good return, good blocking by the Lee Academy special teams, and the Colts have pretty good field position. First down and 10 yards to go from their own 31.
21-yard return that time. Almost had him a well-developed seam that was coming down the right side right in front of us here, Albert. But let's see how we do offensively.
Coach Bray Cudlin send Wayne Bolin wide left. Ivy D's in the slot to the left. Chris Turman and Bradley Gordon are split behind senior quarterback Duff. Four-man front for Fayette. Up the middle on a little inside handoff is Bradley Gordon. Almost breaks away, gets out over the 35-yard line to about the 37. Gain of about 6 on the play. Football game is just underway, no score. Lee Academy Colt offense gets George Miller into the football game. He replaces Ivy D's with a play from Coach Ricky Weiss. And the Coach Bray Cudlin send George Miller wide to the left. Wayne Bolin will go wide to the right. Second down and about 5 yards to go. They gave him a 5-yard gain on that. And Gordon and Turman are split again behind Duff. Duff may be checking off, looking at a 4-man Fayette front. We're going to run the option. Here's a pitch out here to Gordon. Gordon's got a block into the secondary, into Fayette territory. Going to be knocked out of bounds at about the 49-yard line. And Lee Academy's opening drive here has picked up the first down of the night. Colts have it first down and 10 yards to go in Fayette territory.
Duff doing a good job that time with the option. Nice moves by the running back. He just kind of jumped one man, did a little hurdle maneuver. First and 10 for the Colts inside the 50.
Chris Lively checks into the football game. Let's give him the 48-yard line, and Chris Lively goes wide to the left. George Miller slot left. Gordon and Turman are in the I formation behind Andrew Duff, and Duff's going to run a straight handoff to Chris Turman, and Turman's not going to get much. It's going to be knocked down, maybe got a yard on the play. Good play by the interior defensive line there by Fayette Academy. Fayette Academy is in black pants, white jersey with red numerals and red headgears, and black socks, Rich.
You like those black socks, don't you?
I think they look disgusting.
That's what I kind of thought you'd say.
Wayne Bolin and Ivy D's check back into the football game for the Colts. And Wayne Bolin goes wide to the right. Ivy D's goes wide left. And Gordon and Turman will be in the I formation behind Duff. Second down and 9 yards to go. Gave Turman 1 yard on the last play. 4-man front for Fayette. They're up pretty close over there on D's. And here comes a reverse to Ivy D's. And Ivy D's is going to throw a pass. And it's going to be incomplete. Good defensive play by number 2 for Fayette. That's Scott Ray. And Ivy could have ran for that first down. He had plenty of room, but that was a reverse pass to Wayne Bolin. So Coach Ricky Weiss going deep into the playbook in our first series here, Rich.
I tell you, number 2 for Fayette did an excellent job of just staying with the receiver that time, and Ivy actually had the ball thrown out of bounds had it been caught.
Scott Ray is a player. Well, I remember him from last year. He's a senior tailback, weighs 200 pounds. Doesn't look that big from up here, but
that's good speed.
Good speed. D's is split wide left, and Bip Roberts is wide right. Gordon and Turman split behind Duff, and Duff is going to run the option pitch to Gordon. He's going to be brought down inside of the 45-yard line, about the 44. Good play by number 1, Ellis Houston. So the Colts are forced to punt on their first possession. 4th down and 5 yards to go, and a good defensive stand by the Fayette Academy Vikings. Wayne Bolin's into the football game to punt. Jack Laney will snap. Back deep to receive for Fayette. They've got two youngsters. High snap. Bolin going to get the kick away. It's an end-over-end kick that's going to bounce at the 10. Going to be down inside of the 5-yard line at about the 4-yard line by the Lee Academy Colts. Great punt by Wayne Bolin. The Colts down at inside the 5 at the 2.
Tell you, might have been a mistake that time just letting that ball roll, particularly at end over end, because it just had momentum and it just was down to puts the Vikings way bad in a hole for themselves on their first possession of the evening.
They are 98 yards from the promised land. And the Lee Academy Colt defense, we're going to be in a 4-man front. We're going to do a lot of blitzing from the outside tonight, according to Coach Kyle Finney. And he should know because he's a defensive coordinator. And Fayette is going to run an inside handoff, and they're not going to get anything as the Lee Academy coach Raw Stone Street along with Wayne Bolin. And number 88, Scott Flowers, 50, Bradley Rybolt getting up off the bottom of the pile. That's no gain, brings up 2nd and 10. Nine minutes to go in the first quarter. We have no score. Fayette's going to break huddle, and they're going to send wide receiver to the right, wide receiver to the left, slot to the left. Two running backs split behind the quarterback, and he's under the center. And he is going to run an inside handoff, and this youngster's not going to get anything. Might have got a yard or two on the play. Scott Flowers, Bradley Rybolt, number 56, Kerry Middleton, Jack Laney all in on the play for the Lee Academy Colts. Give him 1 yard on the play, 3rd down and 9.
Vikings just begging for a little bit of breathing room down there, but at this point, after 2 plays, the coach is saying no.
8:17 to go in the first quarter, just underway. Fayette's going to break huddle. Coach may send everybody here. On 3rd down and 9. They're in a spread formation again. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Backs are split. They have no tight end in the game. Straight back to throws the quarterback. Looking, throws it. It's going to be incomplete. Coach got a lot of pressure out there by number 33, Stone Street, and they're going to be forced to punt from their own 3-yard line. Well, the Coach should get pretty good field position here. Coach get their punt receiving team into the football game. The Deuce, Wayne Bolin, will be back to receive. I tell you, Rich, it's hard to read those numbers on Fayette's uniform. We're really trouble making those calls for them tonight, so. But they can't pick us up in.
I don't think we go as far as Somerville, Tennessee. So
Bradley Gordon and Wayne Bolin are both back. Youngster gets the kick away, and it's a long kick. It's going to be fielded by Bolin at midfield, and he slips down. So great punt by number 69, Jason Teague. And he punched that football about 47 yards.
47 yards in the air.
Had a little bit of a north breeze behind it. But Bolin slipped down. And the Colts will take over 1st down and 10 yards to go from their own 49. Jack Laney leads the offensive line out. Wayne Bolin goes wide to the right. Alvy Dees goes wide to the left. Tight end Flowers is lined up on the left-hand side. And Stone Street and Chris Turman are now split behind Duff. Looking at a 4-man front, Fayette showing blitz. Duff going to give the football to Stone Street. He's not going to get anything. They're going to knock him back. Might have even lost a yard on the play. Good defense up there by the Fayette Academy Vikings. I told you this was a good team, Rich.
They're a good team. I tell you what, they were pretty solid that time. No place to go at all for Stoney.
Loss of about a yard on the play. 2nd down and 11 for the Lee Academy Colts. Colts break huddle, send Wayne Bolin wide left. George Miller going wide to the right, way wide to the right. And Stone Street and Turman shift into the I formation. Tight end is on this side, which is the right side. And they're in the 5-man front. Sprinting out to throw is Duff, and he just throws it away. Looked like a little mix-up there between the receivers, George Miller and Scott Flowers, and Kyle Finney is letting George know about it over here on the sidelines. And brings up 3rd and 11 for the Lee Academy Colts. No score in the football game. 6:40 to go in the first quarter. Ivy Dees is into the game, replacing George Miller. And Wayne Bolin goes wide to the right. Ivy Dees wide left. Tight end Flowers is lined up on the left-hand side, and Stone Street and Turman are split. Behind Duff who's looking at a four-man front, and they walking the linebacker up on the right side. Oh, it looks like they may be blitzing. He sprints to the right to throw, looking, throws the football deep downfield. It's going to be caught by Wayne Bolin. Inside of the 25-yard line, about the 21. Good throw, Rich, by Andrew Duff.
I tell you what, you can't ask for a better throw than Duff just showed us.
In front, and they walking the linebacker up on the right side. Oh, it looks like they may be blitzing. He sprints to the right to throw. Inside of the 25-yard line, about the 21. Good throw, Rich, by Andrew Duff.
I tell you what, you can't ask for a better throw than Duff just showed us, because he just picked the spot where Bolin was supposed to be, threw it right in his arms. A good catch by Wayne Bolin, too.
Absolutely, and a great throw by Andrew Duff. Might have been his best throw of the year, as that football looked like a missile. 6:32 to go in the first quarter.
Looked like one of those incoming scuds, didn't it?
One that looked like a scud. Bradley Gordon and Turman will be split behind Duff now. Gordon replacing Stoney Stonestreet, giving Stoney a break, and they're walking up an outside linebacker again like they may be blitzing, and we're going to run the option pitch to Gordon. Got a great block from Wayne Bolin, and Bradley Gordon's going to go into the end zone for a touchdown. Great block downfield, Rich, by Wayne Bolin.
Well, I'm going to tell you the key to that play, what led to those 6 points was that block that sprung him around the corner there.
Stoney a break, and they're walking up an outside linebacker again like they may be blitzing, and we're going to run. Down. Great block downfield, Rich, by Wayne Bolin.
Well, I'm going to tell you the key to that play, what led to those 6 points was that block that sprung him around the corner there. And when he got up ahead of steam, I mean, there was nobody going to catch him. 6 points, Colts.
Good read by Andrew Duff. Great run, great speed by Bradley Gordon. Colts have broken on top 6-0. Can get better. We've got some really big games coming up, and the kicking game may play a major part in some of those games. Snap is back. Good snap. The kick is up. The kick is going to be no good. Wide to the right. Nothing. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy football. In a heat timeout, Fayette Academy gets their receiving football team onto the field. I can read number 2 and I can read number 22. So that's Scott Ray and Justin Perkins, and they'll be deep. Bradley Rybolt will tee the football up at the 40. Lee Academy kickoff team has done a great job all year, led by special team specialist John Martin Harris, number 61.
Son of
Jimmy and Gene Harris. And I see Chris Lively out there, Jeff Basler out there, Jonathan Poole, Rybolt, Christian Preuss, Chris Walker, Wesley Fuquay, is also out there for the Colts. And Bradley Gordon tees it up at the 40. Perkins and Ray are standing at about their own 12. Colts have jumped on top 6-0. The whistle blows, and Bradley Rybolt will approach this football and will get the kick, and it will be a pretty high kick that's going to bounce at the 20. The youngster almost fumbled it, picked it up, gets to the outside. Coach trying to catch him, number 44, and he's going to be brought down by Chris Turman. That's 44, Matthew Armour, the fullback. Coach just let him outside containment, Rich, and he made a good run.
Well, a little hesitation on the part of the kickoff coverage team because when the ball hit the ground and rolled a little bit, I think they just kind of put a little brake on and just allowed him to get to the outside. It was just a foot race from there, and not many people are going to outrun
Chris Turman. Fayette breaks the huddle and sends two wide receivers to the right, one to the left, no tight end, backs in an I formation, Colts in a four-man front. Fayette with a little better field position this time. They're going to give the football to the fullback. He's not going to get anything. Chet Stanley and Jack Laney and number 88, Scott Flowers, in there. And they're trying to run the option out of the I formation. The Colts stop it for no gain.
I'm going to tell you, we're just so solid up front, so solid that it's going to be hard to crack that front line.
Hard to run the ball inside on the Lee Academy Colts.
It really is.
I guarantee you that. Second down and 10 yards to go, no gain on the play. Fayette staying in the huddle an unusually long time. And they break huddle, and they're going to send one wide receiver to each way now. They have a tight end in the football game. Back still in an I formation. Quarterback's going to sprint to the right to throw. Looking, throws the football down. It's going to be intercepted by Christian Preuss. Football was overthrown, intended for number 32. One wide receiver to each way now. They have a tight end in the football game. Back still in an I formation. Quarterback's going to sprint to the right to throw. Looking. By Christian Preuss. Football was overthrown, intended for number 32. That's David Douglas. Bounced off his hands, and Christian Preuss made a diving interception. Out over the 45-yard line to the 46, and the Colts will have it 1st and 10 from their own 46.
Big break for the Colts that time. A great play. Let's see what we can do. 1st and 10.
Sonny Stonestreet is going to check into the football game, and he'll play fullback along with Turman at tailback, I'm sure. No, he's taking out Turman. So it'll be Gordon and Stonestreet in the football game. Alternating his running backs nicely is Coach Weiss. Resting one each series. Colts line up in an I formation with Bolin and Deeb split left and right respectively. And Stonestreet with Gordon. Deep out of the eye, going to pitch sweep to Gordon. Gordon's going to cut up field, looking for one block. Got a great block from Ivy Dees, and he's going to get into Fayette Academy territory inside the 50 at about the 48. Good downfield blocking by the Lee Academy wide receivers, Rich.
Tell you, Ivy just about found himself having to make a decision on which guy to block, and he laid out one guy, but the other guy just kind of shuffled on by him.
Pick-up of about 6 on the play. 2nd down and 4. Turman checks into the football game, bringing out Gordon. So Gordon will get a break. Colts break huddle and send Ivy Dees wide to the left. Wayne Bolin's wide to the right. They're double covering Wayne. And we're in an I formation. Now they walk the linebackers up like they're blitzing. Here's a handoff to Turman right up the middle. And Turman is inside the 30. He's inside the 25. They're out of bounds at the 24. And we're in an I formation. Now they walk the linebackers up like they're blitzing. inside the 25, or out of bounds at the 24. Great blocking up front, Rich, by the Lee Academy offensive line.
I'm going to tell you, just slap up the middle of that play went. Great blocking up front. I tell you, Fayette's doing a good job of trying to tackle the ball, too. I noticed a lot of slapping at the ball that time.
They tried to strip young Chris Terman, and he held on with both hands. Colts have it first down and 10 yards to go at the Fayette Academy 24-yard line. 4:11 to go in the first quarter. Lee Academy offensive line looks fired up. Jack Laney comes out of the huddle pumping his fist in the air. Ivy D's wide left, Bolin's wide right. Terman is deep. Stone Street's close side of the eye. Tight end lined up on the left-hand side. And Duff's going to give the football right up the middle again to Chris Terman out of the I formation. Terman's going to get maybe 1 yard on the play. 4:03 to go in the first quarter of the football game. Colts on top 6-0. Let's give him a yard on the play. Second down and 9 yards to go. Chris Lively checks into the football game at a wide receiver, replacing Wayne Bolin. Bradley Gordon's coming into the football game, and he will replace Stone Street. Coach shuffling a lot of players in and out, Rich.
Doing a good job of moving him in and out, keeping a fresh guy in all the time.
Bradley Gordon and Terman are split. Behind Duff, Lively's wide to the right, Dees is wide to the left. Tight ends on the left-hand side, and here comes the option pitch to Gordon. Almost fumbled it, but he gets away. Gordon runs inside the 20, down to about the 16-yard line. Good downfield blocking by the Lee Academy Colts again, and a good job up front by the Lee Academy offensive line. Pickup of about 6 on the play. Going to make it 3rd down and 2.
Duff doing a good job that time, almost holding it beyond the last moment, but able to get the ball out.
Stone Street checks back into the game for the Colts, bringing out Gordon. And Stone Street and Terman now will be split. Behind Duff, wide receivers right and left. Looking at a 4-man Fayette Academy front, they're showing blitz. And we're going to run an inside handoff to Terman. Terman's going to get close to first down yardage, down at about the 15-yard line. I believe he's going to be a little bit short. We get Chet Stanley into the game, replacing Lively, which means we'll go to a 2 tight end set, short by about a yard, and we'll be in a wishbone formation on 4th and 1, 2:27 to go in the first quarter. Wishbone formation with Stone Street as the fullback, Terman and Gordon are the tailbacks, 2 tight end set for the Colts. Almost an 8-man front for Fayette now. And here's a pitch sweep to Gordon. Got good blocking up front. Gordon dances inside the 15 down to about the 10-yard line. It'll be a first down for the Lee Academy Colts. Clock stops as he's knocked out of bounds. 2 minutes exactly to go in the first quarter. Football will be first and goal from just inside the 10.
Colts mixing it up well on this drive, looking good offensively on this play. A lot of good teamwork going on in that front line, Albert.
Fayette Academy comes into this football game undefeated, having scored 66 points and only given up 6.
Well, we've matched that so far.
Wayne Bolin goes wide to the left. George Miller goes wide to the right. Stone Street and Terman are split now. Behind Duff, tight ends lined up on the right-hand side, 4-man front for Fayette. We're going to run the option pitch to Stone Street. We're going to fumble it. We're going to get on it, however, and we're going to lose yardage back outside the 15-yard line at about the 16-yard line. Probably was a ball that Stoney should have held on to. He just went through his arms. John Martin Harris is in the football game at one of the offensive line positions now. He's playing weak side guard, giving Bradley Rybolt a rest. Bradley Gordon's going to get into the football game for Terman with a play from Coach Weiss. We're alternating our running backs in and out. And we send Wayne Bolin wide right. George Miller will be in the slot to the right. 1:22 to go in the first quarter. Second down and 16 yards to go for the Colts. Gordon and Stone Street are in the I formation behind Duff. And they're showing, and Duff sprints to the right to throw. Getting pretty good protection. Just throws the football on a fade pattern intended for George Miller. It's going to be knocked down. Had a little too much airtime onto that one, Rich. Number 22, Justin Perkins back defending for Fayette.
That ball could have just as easily been intercepted that time because it did get a big arc on it. A lot of time in the air, as you said.
Third down and goal to go from the 16-yard line for the Lee Academy coach. Dees checks into the game, and he'll bring out George Miller with a play from Coach Ricky Weiss. So a mistake taking the Colts out of the scoring range here. We need a big play to get back into the end zone or get down close. Wide receivers on both sides, Bolin and Dees. And Stone Street close, and Gordon deep out of the I. And out of the I formation, going to run a pitch sweep, reverse to Dees. Dees is in a lot of trouble. Is going to be knocked down. Now he breaks a tackle and knocked down back close to the 30-yard line. So that's going to be a big loss for the Lee Academy Colts. So the Colts had it first down and goal from the 9. We're going to have it fourth down and goal from the 29.
Kind of gone in the wrong direction these last 3 plays.
35 seconds to go in the first quarter. Clock is running. Colts are going to go for this. Colts will have the win in the second quarter. Wayne Bowling goes wide to the left. Ivy Dees is in the slot to the left. Better hurry up. We're going to get a penalty. Stone Street and Gordon are in the I formation. Tight end Flowers lined up on the right-hand side. And Duff on fourth down and 29 yards to go. Sprints to the left, throws the football downfield. It's going to be intercepted by Fayette Academy, but that's not a bad play because it puts them back at about the 5-yard line, and that's probably better than a punt.
Oh, that's an excellent play. If it's going to be intercepted, picking it up, looking at it fourth down and goal from the 29, just as good as a punt, really. Probably couldn't have placed a punt any better than that.
Youngster for Fayette, if he had thought about it just a little bit, probably would have knocked that football down. They would have had it first down and 10 yards to go at the 29.
Those things look good in the stats, so
I saw one of the coaches for Fayette Academy slam his hat in the ground over there when the youngster intercepted it. First quarter's over. Lee Academy Colts lead 6-0. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy football.
Fayette will start with first and 10 from their own 8-yard.
Fayette Academy has it first down and 10 yards to go from their own 6, and they're going to give the football to the tailback, and he's going to get out very close to the 10-yard line. Might have been stopped just short of the 10. Let's give him the 9. Pickup of about 3 on the play, make it second down and 7. Football is just short of the 10-yard line. Second quarter just underway. Colts on top, 6-0.
Fayette again finds themselves pretty well in a hole here the second consecutive time. They started the drive just before this on the 3, and now they're starting this drive on about the 9, so got a long way to go.
Second down and 7. Fayette breaks the huddle with a tight end this time, one wide receiver to the left. Backs are in a wishbone formation. They're going to run a power play to the fullback, and he's going to be stopped short of the 10. Good play by the Lee Academy defense. I see number 2, Wayne Bolin, getting up, along with number 61, John Martin Harris, and number 84, Chet Stanley. A good defense by the Lee Academy defensive line that time, stopping them for no gain. Might have lost a yard. Let's still call it third down and 7, however. Fayette gets a youngster into the football game with a play from Coach Robert Daniels. Colt defense would like nothing better than to make Fayette punt from down here again. Fayette breaks huddle, wide receivers right and left, and the backs are in an I formation. Colts in a 4-man front showing blitz. We're sending everybody, and they fumble the snap, and there's a flag on the play. It's going to be illegal procedure, and the Colts recover the fumble. I thought it was a flag. It must have been the official's beanbag that he threw down.
Now it's a flag on the play.
And number 59 for the Lee Academy Colts recovers the football. That's Richard Lewis. So it was a flag on the play. Colts decline it. Youngster fumbles the snap. Lee Academy Colts recover. First down and 10 yards to go from inside the 10. First down and goal to go from about the 8. So the last time we had it in the red zone, we ended up outside the 30. Or outside almost to the 30. Colts in a wishbone, 2 tight ends, Chet Stanley and Scott Flowers. Stone Street's the fullback. Gordon and Turman are the halfbacks out of the wishbone formation. Colts just going to try to knock him off the ball. We're going to run the option pitch to Turman. Turman gets down inside the 5, dives, and going to fumble the football, but it goes out of bounds at about the 1. So good effort by Chris Turman. He was actually met in midair, Rich, and knocked the football loose.
Yeah, it looked like a helmet caught the ball while he was in midair and knocked it luckily out of bounds. Looks like just about the 1-yard line.
Colts will have it second down and goal to go from the 1, trying to put their second touchdown of the night on the board. We still have 2 tight ends in the football game. Chet Stanley and Scott Flowers, and Stone Street and Gordon and Turman are in the wishbone formation behind Duff. Second down and goal to go from the 1. We give the football to Gordon. Gordon gets into the end zone for a touchdown. Colts make it 12-0. I'm sure we'll go for 2 here. 10:03 to go in the first half of the football game. Colts will try for 2. So the Colts get a break. Rich, I really believe that's our first break of the year. I mean, really, we've gone almost 2.5 games and hadn't really got a big break.
Well, that was a good break, recovering that fumble.
Looks like Chris Turman shaking up over here. Might have got a helmet on the hip or something. As Vance Holland, our trainer's over there checking him out. Colts break huddle in a wishbone formation. Christian Preuss and Bradley Gordon now are in the football game along with Stone Street in the wishbone. And there's a flag on the play. Well, let's see what this call is. This is going to be an illegal procedure call against the Lee Academy Colts. So that'll be a 5-yard step off against the Colts. It puts the football back about to the 7.5-yard line. And we'll try to get a report on Chris Turman here for you in just a minute. We're going to stay in the wishbone, looks like. We've got a pass to the tight end out of this play that's worked pretty good. Coach might not want to show it here in a non-conference game. 12-0. Coach will try for 2 from the 7. And Duff is going to throw the pass to the tight end, wide open for the 2-point conversion. 14-0 is the score. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Colt football.
I tell you, team can score 6 to 6 points, so.
Andy Rybold has the football teed up at the 40. Back deep to receive for Fayette's number 2, Scott Ray, standing as a lone safety at about the 10. This time Bradley will have the wind at his back, and he approaches the football and gets the kick away, and once again it's a high kick. It's going to be fielded by Armour at the 21. This is the big fullback, and he's trying to find a seam, and he comes out over the 30 to about the 34 before Jonathan Poole knocks him down. So the Colts unable to get the football deep on the kickoff. He's giving up a lot of field position to Fayette Academy.
Tell you, Bradley doing a good job kicking that ball toward the sidelines, because it just takes away so much of the playing field when he does that. The kickoff team, just the special team, just can cut off the field so good on the sidelines kick.
4-man front for the Colts. Fayette's gone to the wishbone formation now with 1 wide receiver to the left. Colts in a 4-man front. Quarterback is going to take the football, going to run the option, going to keep it. Got some blocking out front, now going to pitch to the tailback at the last minute. He fumbles the football. Colts get on it. Good defense out there by the Colts. Colts have recovered a fumble on the option. Quarterback got down. Colt defense. Stone Street recovers the fumble. Good defense on the perimeter by the Lee Academy Colts.
Another good break for the Colts here. 2 in a row.
Colts lead 14-0, 9:40 to go in the first half. Colts got the football again in Fayette Academy territory at the 37-yard line. We will have a halftime show. Megan Flowers is in charge of that, and she'll be up here with Kara DeWeese, I'm sure, with the Lee Academy halftime show. And then we're going to try to get a few words in with Chase Maxey at halftime. So stick around for that. Here comes the option pitch, and the youngster just throws it away. And number 44, Armour, picks it up, and he's going to go all the way as Chris Turman's hurt. Chris Turman's hurt. He just pulled up lame, and number 44, Matthew Armour, picks up the fumble and runs all the way. Colts ran the option plate, and the youngster came in for the second time this year, put up a big paw and knocked the football down, and it was a live ball, and Chris Turman's hurt.
Yeah, you could obviously, he just pulled up, he couldn't even make a race out of it. I'm going to tell you what, whoever that was running about the Vikings, what was that boy's name?
Matthew Armour.
Matthew, I tell you what, he had pretty good speed to him.
So 14-6 is the score now, and Fayette will attempt to put the 7th point on the board. And they have a youngster that has it teed up. Let's see. Is that 22, Justin Perkins? Can't really tell. Yes, Justin Perkins has it teed up, and he will attempt the PAT. Colts trying to block it. Snap is back. It's a good snap. The kick is up. Kick is good. Lee Academy 14, Fayette 7. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy football. Jason Teague has the football teed up at the 40. Bradley Gordon and Wayne Bolin are deep for the Lee Academy Colts, as the Fayette Academy Vikings have struck like lightning here with 9:03 to go in the second quarter. Teague with a good leg will approach the football and will get the kick away, and it's a high kick that's going to be fielded by Bolin on the dead run. And right up the middle he comes, looking for a block, does not get it. We have a flag on the play, and Bolin's tackled at about the 35. Colts are going to be guilty, I believe, of holding or either clipping. We'll wait and see. And so the Colts now will have to operate with under the shadow, from the shadow of their own end zone. Here's the call. It's a clip against the Lee Academy Colts. So that'll be a 15-yard step off from the 36, which will move the football back to the 21 if Fayette takes the penalty. No, it's actually from the 34, which will put the football back at the 19. Clipping against the Lee Academy Colts, 8:57 to go in the first half. Colts lead 14-7, and a very uncomfortable lead it is, Rich.
I didn't hear you that time. The PA announcer was blaring in my ear.
I said it's a very uncomfortable lead.
Yes, it is. As we just mentioned, the Fayette team has scored 66 points in 2 games.
Colts break huddle, wide receivers right and left. Stone Street and Gordon are in the I formation behind Duff. And they're showing blitz, and there's a pitch sweep to Gordon. Gordon looking for a block, cuts upfield, gets the block, gets to the corner, gets into the secondary, and runs the football out over the 35-yard line to the 38. Boy, he's just got blazing speed, Rich.
Man, he is fast. He got to that corner and turned up, and I thought he was nailed on the sidelines. But all of a sudden, he's still churning those legs. He's going. He's great.
First down and 10 yards to go for the Lee Academy Colts from their own 38-yard line. First 8:34 to go in the first half. Colts lead 14-7.
You had that speed in Benoit, didn't you?
Shoot. Only when I was stealing watermelon.
How many did you steal?
Wide receiver right, wide receiver left, and I formation for the Colts. 4-man front for Fayette. And there's misdirection to Gordon. Gordon's going to be tackled for no gain. That number 44, Armour, is a good player.
He is a good player.
He tackled Gordon for maybe a yard gain on the play. Second down and 9 yards to go. 8:07 to go in the first half. Chris Lively checks into the football game for the Colts. Try to get a report on Turman. They're fixing up an ice bag over here. He may have a hip pointer. And I tell you, I have had one of them, and that don't feel good. Wide receivers right and left for the Colts. And out of the split backfield, we bring motion back to this side in the form of George Miller. Fayette looks confused. We're going to give the football to the fullback, Stone Street. And he breaks tackles and gets into Fayette Academy territory at about the 49-yard line. And out of the split backfield, we bring motion back to this side in the form of George Miller. Fayette looks confused. Academy territory at about the 49-yard line before he is brought down. Colts mixing it up well, Rich.
They're doing a good job. I tell you, they're really doing a good job right now, and this is what they needed to do after having a little bit of the wind knocked out of them with that pickup of that fumble in return for a touchdown. They needed to come back and take control, and they're doing a very good job of it right now. We've got a Fayette youngster down on the sidelines over there that our trainer's gone to check on. I'll try to keep my eye on that.
Wayne Bolin wide left, Ivy D slot left. Gordon and Stone Street are split behind Duff. Duff straight back to throw, throws, and it's going to be almost intercepted.
Ooh.
I mean to tell you, he threw it right in 22's wheelhouse. Justin Perkins just dropped the football.
That had 6 points written all over it.
7:09 to go in the first half. George Miller checks into the football game for Ivy D's. Coach Ray Cuttle and send Bolin wide to the right. Miller wide left. And Stone Street and Gordon are in the I formation. Looking at a 5-man now Fayette Academy front. And Duff going to give it on misdirection to Gordon. Gordon trying to get outside is going to be thrown for a loss, and we have a flag on the play. So this fumble recovery for a touchdown has given Fayette Academy new life. And they have stiffened up after after 2 good runs by the Colts. And that's going to be a hold against the Colts. 10-yard spot foul penalty, which would push the football back inside the 40. 7:02 to go in the half. Football's pushed back inside the 40 to the 38. Colts have got to go to the other 40 for a first down, so it's 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Bip Roberts checks into the game for Bolin with the play from Coach Weiss. The Coach Ray Cuttle and Bip Roberts will go wide to the left, and George Miller will be in the slot to the left. Stone Street and Gordon are split behind Duff. Now we shift into the I formation. And they're in a 4-man front. Duff sprints to the left to throw, getting a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. Is going to be sacked. Back at the 30-yard line.
I tell you, the Vikings are playing with some intensity right at the moment. They are taking the fight to the Colts.
And the football is back at the 31, which will bring up 3rd down and 29, loss of 7 on the play. So the Colts have got themselves in a bunch of trouble here tonight on the offensive side of the ball by taking some big losses.
They've got a little bit further than a country mile to go.
3rd and 29. And Duff's under the center out of the I formation. Wide receivers both ways. Fayette's playing very loose pass defense, and Bradley Gordon going to be tackled. We gave it to him off right to tackle, and the youngsters from Fayette came up and stopped him for no gain and brings up 4th and 29. The Colts get their punting team into the football game, and momentum has shifted in this game, Rich.
It really has, and shifted very quickly, too.
Wayne Bolin will get deep to punt. Back deep to receive for Fayette will be number 22, Perkins, along with number 2, Ray. And Jack Laney will snap. It's a high snap that Bolin is going to pull down and going to get the kick away. And it's a driving kick that's going to be fair caught by Perkins. He fumbles the football, and the Colts, but he gets back on it. Good coverage by the Colts down there. Chet Stanley and Chris Lively almost got on it. The football is back inside the 35-yard line of the 34. 5:13 to go in the first half. That's where Fayette will have it, 1st and 10. Colts get their defense into the football game. John Martin Harris checks into the game, giving, I'm sure, Bradley Rybolt a break at one of the defensive tackle positions. And this is the heat timeout, and while we have the heat timeout, we're going to pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Colt football. First down and 10 yards to go for Fayette. They run the wishbone formation to give it to the fullback, Armour. And he's the fullback out of the dive. And he's going to get out to about the 37-yard line. Pickup of about 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7 for the Fayette Academy Vikings. Quarterback for Fayette is number 21. His name is Jimmy Hicks. He is a 10th grader. So fairly mature football team for Fayette, except at the quarterback position. They're still in the wishbone, one wide receiver, Colts in a four-man front. Maybe showing blitz. Here we come. They give the football to Armour again. He breaks a couple of tackles and gets out close to the 45-yard line, gets close to first down yardage. So good job up front by the Fayette offensive line. And it is a first down, and they'll have it first down and 10 yards to go from their own 44-yard line.
I tell you, the Colts defense really needs to stiffen up here and take control of this game again, because at the moment Fayette is just kind of moving at will and doing what they want to do. They've definitely got the momentum going on their side of the ball this time.
Bradley Rybolt checked into the game for John Martin Harris at defensive tackle. They're still in the wishbone, coasted in the four-man front. And they're going to give it on misdirection. And number 63, Jack Laney, is going to miss a tackle. And number 2, Ray, is inside of Lee Academy territory at about the 48-yard line, 47-yard line. Jack Laney had him in his sights and just missed him. And Ray runs the football inside of Lee Academy territory at the 37 and pick up of 9 on the play, make it second down and 1 yard to go. 4:04 to go in the first half. Colts need to have to run out. We'll try to get a report on Chris Turman for you at halftime. Fayette breaks huddle with a wishbone formation, one wide receiver. Colts still in a four-man front. Quarterback Hicks is under the center. Going to give it to the fullback, and this time he's not going to get much. Stone Street met him right there in the middle of the line. Going to be short of the first down by about a half a yard, but there's a flag on the play. Scott Flowers, number 88, in there for the Colts, along with Stone Street. Illegal procedure against Fayette Academy. That'll be a 5-yard step off. And make it second down and 6 yards to go for the Fayette Vikings.
Pretty good crowds assembled here at Lee Academy tonight.
Excellent crowd. Pretty good crowd from Fayette.
I see your friend Bob Bobo down there.
I do see Bob. How
He's
you
the
doing,
one standing up. I think he's waving at Dr. Marley. I'm not sure.
Does Bob know that he does not have a press box pass anymore?
He barely has a stadium pass.
Second down and 6 yards to go for the Vikings. Colt defense needs to stiffen up here. They break huddle, send a wide receiver to the left, wishbone formation again. Colt still in a four-man front and sprints to the left to throws Hicks, getting pressure from Chet Stanley. Chet Stanley is going to let him loose. Colts are all over him now, and number 56, Kerry Middleton, is going to be knocked down. We have a flag on the play. I think the Colts might have grabbed his face mask. What did it look like to you, Rich?
It looked like his face mask also. That's what, after Stanley missed him, it looked like his head snapped a little bit. And I think it's probably going to be a face masking penalty. Of course, we've been wrong before. At least I have.
I'm glad you clarified that. 3:32 to go in the first half. Face mask call against the Colts. That'll be a 15-yard step off. Will not be a first down, I don't think, unless it's an automatic. Let's see. It puts the football back inside of Colt territory at the 48. And will make it second down and about 3. So it's not an automatic first down. Second down and 3 for Fayette. Clock is running with 3:30 to go in the first half.
Second down and 3 on the 48-yard line in Lee territory.
Fayette breaks huddle in the wishbone. Colts still in their four-man front. Quarterback, 10th grade quarterback Hicks is under the center. Going to give the football to Armour, the fullback, and he's not going to get much. Lee Academy Colts. Number 33, Stone Street, along with number 84, Stanley. And I also see number 63, Jack Laney, getting up off the bottom of the pile. Brings up third down and 2. Let's give him a yard on the play. Third down and 2. Very liberal spot, I think, by the official there. So third down and 2 yards to go for Fayette. They trail 14-7. Colts scored was ahead 14-0. Fayette picked up a fumble and ran it into the end zone for a touchdown, kicked the extra point, made it 14-7. Colts showing blitz. Here comes Hicks out to this side, pitch out here to Ray, and he's going to be thrown down by Bradley Gordon. Back inside of Fayette territory at about the 40, inside the 45 actually, at the 48. Big loss for Fayette, and they'll be forced to punt with 2:15 to go in the first half. Clock is running.
Tell you, big defensive play that time by the Colts. It was as if they knew what was coming, Albert.
Colts get Wayne Bolin deep. We need a punt return is what we need.
Just catch it on the dead run and go all the way. How about that?
Third game last year against Starkville. That's exactly what he did.
Absolutely.
Matt Armour will punt. Wayne Bowling standing at about the 25. Snap is back, and it's a good snap. Colts almost block it. Bowling is going to let the ball bounce. It's going to take a Fayette bounce. It's going to bounce inside the 20. And Matt Armour will punt. Wayne Bowling standing at about the 25. Bowling is going to let the ball bounce. It's going to take a Fayette bounce. It's going to bounce inside the 20 and will be down at the 19-yard line. I think Wayne thought that football was going to bounce out of bounds, and it took a bounce upfield. 1:33 to go in the first half. Colt offense has got time to score, Rich, but we got to move the ball.
Minute and a half to left in the first half. Colts leading 14-7. So far, Fayette has not put any offensive points on the board. But the Colts do need to move it downfield, get a few more points on the board before halftime, if possible.
Timeout is called on the field by the official for something. We have an equipment timeout. Youngster's helmet looks like it may be
malfunctioning at the moment.
Malfunctioning helmet. Breeze coming through this press box pretty cool there, Rich.
Oh, it really feels nice tonight.
Well, in that case, I'll shut the door.
You don't like the breeze?
I formation for the Colts. Wide receivers both ways. Four-man front for Fayette. Pitch sweep to Gordon. Gordon trying to get to the corner. Got a wall of blockers in front of him, and he gets the football out over the 35-yard line. Going to be knocked out of bounds at the 35. Good pickup. Pickup of 15 yards for Bradley Gordon. Colts. Clock stops with the football being out of bounds. Flag on the play, clipping against the Lee Academy Colts.
Well, I tell you, so far the first half we've shot one of our feet off, and it looks like we're trying to shoot the other foot off now right now, Albert.
I tell you, I don't know what's happening out there, but we're doing something the officials don't like. I think the youngster looked to me like he turned his back to Wayne. They called it on number 2. I saw the official hold his 2 fingers up. George Miller checks into the game for the Colts, bringing out Ivy D's. 52 seconds to go in the first half. Colts now may just try to run the clock out. 4-man front for Fayette. They're in a prevent defense. And we give the footman fumble. We fumble the football. And let's see who's got it.
Fayette says they have it.
And Fayette does have it. So the Colts, disaster has struck the Lee Academy Colts here late in the first half. 35 seconds to go in the first half. Fayette calls timeout. With timeout on the field, Colts lead 14-7. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy football. Fayette Academy has it first down and 10 yards to go from the Lee Academy 13-yard line. Lee Academy defense really needs to dig in here. They're in the wishbone formation. They're going to run the option. They pitch it out here to Ray, and Ray's in a lot of trouble, going to be thrown for a loss. Back outside the 15-yard line at about the 16-yard line. Good play by Chet Stanley along with Wayne Bowman. And Fayette calls another timeout. We'll just keep it right here with 24 seconds to go in the first half. Colts lead 14-7, loss of about 3 on the play.
Well, while we got a little break in the action here, Albert, let's tell everybody we'll be in Starkville, Mississippi next Friday night, playing the Volunteers of Starkville Academy. Is that correct?
The Volunteers. Orange and blue is their color.
Orange and blue.
Chase Maxey just comes in the press box. We'll get an interview with him later on.
Right. You think Bobo's going to be able to go to Starkville next week?
I bet he goes.
You think he'll go?
Yeah, he'll go.
Okay. You think he'll be allowed to get into Starkville next week?
Oh, I don't think they know him over there.
Oh, okay.
24 seconds to go in the first half. 24 seconds to go in the first half.
I said, do you think we ought to point him out to him?
Well, we may not, because he makes all those cracks about Mississippi State, and he may be in some unfriendly territory.
Is he going to be one of the ones with mud wrestling?
You know, I was trying not to listen to him last week, Rich. I'm not really sure what he said. But we got to stop him right here. We got to stop Fayette right here.
With 24 seconds to go.
With 24 seconds to go in the first half. Second down and 13 yards to go. Fayette's in a spread formation now with 3 wide receivers. And Hicks is straight back to throw and throws the football over the middle. It's caught for a touchdown. Boy, the Colts had 3 men there. Youngster shaking up for Lee Academy. And the Lee Academy Colts had 3 guys there. I didn't see any way they could complete the pass. And a good play by number 1, Ellis Houston. As he went up there and got it, Wayne Bolin was the youngster shaking up for the Colts. And they're fixing to attempt the tying extra point here with 16 seconds to go in the half. Wayne Bolin must have had the wind knocked out of him as he's walking off under his own power. And Fayette will have the football teed up. Justin Perkins has it teed up at the 10.
Perkins going to attempt the PAT.
With 16 seconds to go, Fayette has jumped back into this football game. Snap is back. The kick is up. The kick is no good. Wide to the left. 16 seconds to go, and Lee Academy Colts still have the lead, and a very precarious lead it is, Rich, 14-13.
The last 12 minutes that we've seen out on the football field, Albert, have been more of, if it can go wrong for Lee Academy, it's gone wrong.
It's almost like we got the 14-point lead and sort of relaxed a little bit.
Yeah, just kind of, I won't say quit, but maybe have taken it too lightly or something. But it's just, like I said, but if it can go wrong, it's gone wrong in the second quarter for the Colts.
Coach Weiss told us before the game that this was not a North Delta football team we were playing here tonight. Wayne Bolin and Bradley Gordon get deep, and they're standing at about the 10. And I kind of got a feeling that North Delta would just squib this along the ground. Perkins is going to kick this, so I'm sure it'll just be a squib with 16 seconds to go in the first half. And he just kind of onside it, and the Colts are going to fall on it. Good play out there by number 66, Russell Harris, for the Lee Academy Colts. And the Colts will have maybe a play or two with 16 seconds to go in the first half. Colts lead 14-13 in what's been a very hard-fought first half of football.
We may just see one running play, and that'll wind up the first half of this football
11 seconds
game.
to go in the first half. Coach called time. 7 seconds to go now. And the Lee Academy Colts have called time out. So we'll just keep it right here because it may be a short timeout. Reminds you that Kara DeWeese will have the halftime show for Lee Academy. And then my good friend Mr. Richard Webster will talk to my good friend Mr. Chase Maxey for a minute or two.
And maybe our good friend Coach Rusko the best stat man in North Mississippi will have us some stats up here.
I believe that's one thing you can bet on, Rich. But I tell you, Coach Weiss is talking to the official out there about starting the clock a little early.
There is a discussion going on.
And now the official's going over to talk to Coach Daniels. And so we may get those 9 seconds put back on, which may mean we may have 2 plays. 14-13, the Colts lead against a pretty good Fayette Academy Viking football team. The official's coming over here, I'm sure, to talk to Coach Hughes. And I believe we're going to put 16 seconds back on the board. 16 seconds.
Coach Hughes had already put that on there.
Now, if Coach Hughes learned his clock operating at LSU, we may get 4 plays out of this thing.
They may get the ball back.
Duff, out of the I formation, is going to run a pitch sweep to Gordon. Gordon just trying to get to the corner. We can get outside on these guys, and Gordon's going to run out of bounds. Runs the football into Fayette Academy territory at the 43-yard line. That play took 6 seconds, and it's 10 seconds to go in the half. 14-13, the Colts lead. Colts scored the first 2 touchdowns. Fayette scored the second 2 touchdowns. 2nd down and 1 yard to go for the Lee Academy Colts from the Fayette Academy 43-yard line. Yardage just makes no difference. Now we got to get to the end zone. 10 seconds to go. Sprinting to the right to throws Duff. Duff throws the football. It's going to be caught by Scott Flowers, and the Lee Academy Colts are going to call timeout, I believe. Colts call timeout with 4 seconds to go in the half. We're going to pause just 30 seconds this time. 30 seconds for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Colt football. They just let the clock run. We are back at Lee Academy. It is 4 seconds to go in the football game, in the first half of the football game, which is probably good for 1 play in the Mississippi Delta, and Baton Rouge is good for 2. 14-13, the Lee Academy Colts lead, and Duff, with 4 seconds to go in the first half, is going to take the football and sprint to the left. Looking. The horn goes off, and Duff's just going to have to run the football now, and he's going to be tackled and fumbled, and the Colts are going to fall on it, but the half is over. Colts lead 14-13 at half. We're going to pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the halftime show with Miss Cara DeWeese. This is Lee Academy football. Number 2, Ray, is deep to receive Bradley Rybolt's kick. And the Lee Academy Colts, the first 5 minutes of this second half is really, really key in this football game. And the Colts need to come out and take charge. And Rybolt gets the kick away. It's going to be fielded by Armour, and he drops it and gets back on it, and the Colts are all over it. Chris Walker, John Martin Harris, and Jonathan Poole down there. Good coverage for the Lee Academy Colts. And I do not think that Coach Weiss was really, really satisfied with the officiating in the first half, because he was late getting into the dressing room as he walked the officials all the way to the gate, and it didn't look to me like he had a smile on his face. He wasn't asking them if they'd like a Wendy's hamburger, I can promise you that. 11:49 to go in the third quarter, and we have a chain problem over there.
A chain problem.
Something is wrong. If any of the youngsters that played football for Lee last year are listening, you know, we'd be glad to have you on the air just like we had Chase. Get your insights on the football game and the season, see how college is going. So if anybody's listening and wants to come up here and visit during the home game, just let us know, and we'd be glad to get you on the air. Fayette Academy Vikings in an I formation with 3 wide receivers are going to run a straight handoff in there to number 2, Ray, and Ray is going to pound out over the 25-yard line. He gets out to about to the 29, where Jack Laney and Stony Stone Street, Richard Lewis in there for the Colts, doing a good job. Gain of 2 on the play, 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Colts have stayed in their 4-man front. Their split 4 defense the whole football game. And the officials we're going to have another officials timeout as a youngster for Fayette is having an equipment problem. And it is
Fayette.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Rich.
I was going to say Fayette, one of the few teams we face that have female managers.
And they're in a split backfield and going to run a look-in pass. It's going to be knocked down by Scott Flowers, and Scott Flowers almost intercepted it. That was a little slant pattern to number 22, Justin Perkins, and Scott Flowers from his inside linebacker position makes a good play, knocks the football down, and then Perkins says something to Scott after he gets up. So just up here from the press box looking at Justin Perkins and Scott Flowers, I mean, he really probably don't need to be saying a whole lot.
I wouldn't think so.
10:56 to go in the third period. Colts lead 14-13.
He may have just complimented him on the hit.
Could have. I formation for Fayette. And there's a bootleg, and they're going to throw the football. It's going to be knocked down and almost intercepted by Wayne Bolin. And there's a flag on the play. And we'll see what this is. I think that Fayette was probably in motion. Illegal procedure against Fayette. I'm sure the coach will decline it unless it was a dead ball foul and there was no play. So let's see what the call is here. It'll bring up 4th down should the Colts decline the penalty, but I don't think they're going to have a choice. It was a dead ball foul, and that's what the one hand in the air means, is a dead ball foul, which means the Colts will not have a choice. They have to take the penalty, and makes it 3rd down and 12. 3rd down and 12 yards to go for the Fayette Academy Vikings. They trail by a point, 14-13. Did you get a score on Clarksdale, Rich?
Did not hear a score on Clarksdale's game. Did you hear a score on the Clarksdale game, Jimmy?
Fayette breaks huddle with 3 wide receivers and a split back behind Hicks. Colts in a 4-man front. Hicks takes the 3-step drop and now is going to be sacked by Richard Lewis. Good job by Richard Lewis. If the quarterback had taken off and been a little more decisive, Rich, looks like he had a little bit of running room, but he was dancing up in the pocket and gave the pocket time to collapse, and Richard Lewis, hustling all the way, sacks him for about a yard loss and brings up 4th down and 13. Wayne Bolin will get deep to receive. Matthew Armour will punt. He's got a pretty good leg himself. Fayette doesn't have enough men on the field, do they? Now they do. Armour waiting for the snap. Snap is back. It's a good snap. And he gets the kick away, and it's an end-over-end kick. It's going to be fielded by Bolin at the 40. We're looking for one block. Wayne Bolin is going to be tackled at the 45, and we're going to be guilty of a clip. And I don't even think he even touched it.
It didn't look like he touched it to me, but I tell you, that official threw that flag high in the air so that everybody could see it.
They're going to call it illegal pushing in the back. I don't even think he even touched him. But they're going to call it on John Martin Harris. And that's a 15-yard step off, and Coach Weiss is standing on the sidelines with his arms crossed.
(21-13) Clarksdale, Albert.
Okay, Andrew Duff will get into the football game with the Colts. Jack Laney trying to be a leader out there, clapping his hands, trying to inspire his Chargers to come along. And Wayne Bolin will go wide to the left, and Ivy Dees will go wide to the right. And Gordon and Stone Street will be split. behind Duff. We did not get a report on Chris Turman at halftime, but I see he's still out here, isn't he, Rich?
Yep.
And here's the inside handoff to Stone Street, who comes out over the 25-yard line to about the 26 before he's knocked down.
I'll tell you, with that penalty, Albert, Lee Academy has been penalized for 75 yards to only 5 yards against the Vikings from Somerville, Tennessee.
Big equalizer in high school football is the yellow flag.
That's exactly right.
Stone Street, number 33, is 5'11", 5'9", 185-pound senior. Runs hard. Pick up a 5 on the play, 2nd and 5. 8:47 to go in the third period. Colts shift into the split backfield now with wide receivers on both sides. And straight back to throw is Duff, and he just throws it behind Bolin. Timing's not very good between our wideouts and our quarterback, Rich. We're having trouble getting the football to him.
Bolin ran a good pattern that time and actually was in the open, but Andrew just was a little off on his timing and threw the ball at the point where Bolin made his turn.
That is a timing route. Ivy Dees goes wide left, and Wayne Bolin will go wide to the right. Stone Street close, Gordon deep out of the eye, tight end Flowers lined up on the left-hand side. We got to get him the ball more. Duff, barking out his signals, going to run a pitch sweep to Gordon. Gordon trying to get to the corner, cuts upfield, is in the open, breaks a tackle, looking for a block, gets a great block downfield. And Gordon is inside of the 50. Gordon's in the 40. Gordon's inside of the 35-yard line, is going to be knocked down at about the 34. On the left-hand side, we got to get him the ball more. Duff, barking out his signals, going to run a pitch sweep to going to be knocked down at about the 34. Good run by Bradley Gordon. Great speed, Rich. Great speed.
I'm going to tell you, Bradley Gordon was going left. He went almost to the sidelines, to the Fayette sidelines, and grinned at them, and then just turned his field back straight over here and came straight across the field. Set up a good wall of blockers and good pursuit by the Vikings that time. Really, they were excellent in their pursuit to be able to corral Gordon.
Christian Preuss will give Bradley Gordon a break. 8:09 to go in the third period. Colts driving. First down and 10 yards to go at the Fayette Academy 36-yard line. Four-man front for Fayette. Stone Street and Preuss. There's the handoff to Stone Street, right off left tackle. And Stone Street is into the secondary, inside the 25-yard line, down to about the 22 before he's knocked down. Stone Street's a load, Rich.
Oh, he's a load, all right. Colts right now looking good, but they're playing spurty football right at the moment.
5'9", 185-pound fullback, Stone Street. Gordon's back into the football game after resting one play. Christian Preuss checks out. Colts send Ivy Dees wide to the right. Wayne Bolin's wide to the left. And out of the I formation, looking at a 5-man front now for Fayette. They're showing blitz. Here's a pitch sweep to Gordon. Gordon's in a lot of trouble. Fumbles the football, but we're going to fall back on it. Youngster for Fayette just stripped the football away, and Gordon fumbled it, but Stonestreet falls on it. Loss of about 5 on the play, 2nd down and 15.
With that fumble, that was number 5 tonight. 5 fumbles that the Colts have had.
Christian Preuss is coming back into the football game. He'll take out Gordon. No, he'll take out Stonestreet. And we break huddle and send Wayne Bolin wide right, Ivy D's wide left. 4-man front looks like for Fayette. They walking their linebackers up. Their outside linebackers like they're blitzing. They only have 2 down linemen. Duff is going to run the option pitch to Gordon. It's going to be a low pitch, and he's going to be run out of bounds. Back outside the 30 to about the 31. And this Fayette football team is physical. That's a loss on the play of about 3. And going to bring up 3rd down and 18 yards to go for the Colts.
We've had a few of those type plays, 3rd 19, 3rd 18, 3rd and 29.
And now 3rd and 18, 6:37 to go in the 3rd period. We miss Chris Terman. Ivy D's goes wide left, Wayne Bolin wide right. Tight end lined up on the right, on the left-hand side. And they're just not even letting Scott get off the line. They're just chucking him at the line. And there's an inside handoff to Stonestreet. And Stonestreet bursts through the middle up to the end of the secondary, inside the 20-yard line, down to about the, to the 20. Looks like Stoney might have got the breath knocked out of him, or either got stepped on or something, holding his lower back there. Stays in the football game, tough kid. George Miller checks into the game on 4th down and 7 yards to go for the Lee Academy Colts. Leading 14-13 with 6:07 to go in the 3rd quarter. Big play for the Colt offense. Need to get the first down right here. Duff is going to give the football to the fullback, Stonestreet. He's going to be stopped. And the Lee Academy Colt offense is stopped again. And the defense has to get onto the football field, and hopefully we can stop Fayette. 14-13 is the score. As our passing game has looked a little suspect tonight. When you run the dive on 4th and 7, they show a little lack of confidence in your passing game. 1st down and 10 yards to go for Fayette as they run the tailback right up the middle. He's going to be stopped by the Lee Academy coach, Kerry Middleton. Kerry Middleton thought he recovered a fumble. Official said he was down. Pick up about a yard on the play, 2nd down and 9. A few of the Colts look like they're hurting out there, Rich.
As you said earlier, this has been a physical game. The Vikings from Fayette, they'll hit you.
John Martin Harris checks into the game for Bradley Rybold at one of the defensive tackle positions. And Fayette breaks the huddle in the wishbone. With 1 wide receiver, Colts still in the 4-man front, 4 linebackers, 3 defensive backs. And Hicks is going to take the football, going to step straight back and throw the football. It's going to be intercepted by Ivy D's. Ivy D's looking for a block. He's going to be knocked backwards, but it's going to make a nice interception. With 1 wide receiver, Colts still in the 4-man front, 4 linebackers, 3 defensive backs. And Hicks going to take the football, going to by Ivy D's. Ivy D's looking for a block. He's going to be knocked backwards, but it's going to make a nice interception. And the Colts will have it 1st down and 10 yards to go out of Fayette's 20-yard line at the 19.
Another big break for the Colts. Need to put some points on the board with that one, Albert.
Heat timeout. 4:41 to go in the third quarter. Colts lead 14-13. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Football. On the first play after the Heat timeout, flags are on the play, and let's see what the call is going to be here. It's going to be a dead ball encroachment foul against Fayette Academy Vikings, which will push the football inside the 15-yard line to the 14, make it first down and 5 yards to go. I'm sorry. Colts trying to get a play in the game. We have our play now. Jack Laney leads the offensive line out. Kerry Middleton, John Martin Harris, Jonathan Poole, Richard Lewis, and Scott Flowers. Out of the I formation, 4:03 to go in the third quarter. Duff looking at a four-man front, going to run the option, going to keep it, and going to be snowed under. Back outside the 15-yard line to about the 16. We're going to have to throw the ball as they're just almost disregarding the pass. Youngster hurt for Lee Academy. Timeout taken on his behalf. And we're waiting to see who it is. Looks like his breath might have been knocked out of him. Stoney Stonestreet, he's hopped up. Probably had the wind knocked out of him. Christian Preuss will check in for Stonestreet. Stoney Stonestreet comes out under his own power. Coach Ray Cuttle and send George Miller wide to the right. Wayne Bolin wide to the left. Andrew Duff is going to give the football to Preuss. On the inside handoff, Preuss fights back inside the 15-yard line to about the 13-yard line. Gets back the yardage we lost on that last play and brings up third down and 5. Colts having trouble moving the football against a very good Fayette Viking defense, Rich.
They really are. They're moving it, again, like I said, in spurts. They're not having any consistency about them.
Colts send Bolin wide to the right. Dees in the slot to the right. We send motion back to the left in the form of Ivy Dees. And Duff is going to run a pitch sweep to Gordon. Gordon being chased down by Armour is going to be run down from behind. Bradley Gordon's tired, Rich.
But I'm going to tell you, that Armour is a fast young man. He's got good size, but he is quick and has some speed to him.
2:32 to go in the third quarter. Brings up fourth down for the Lee Academy Colts. And we're going to call timeout. Colts call time, leading 14-13, 2:23. We pause 1 minute to go. 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Football. Lee Academy coach Ray Cuttle on fourth down and 7 yards to go. Desperately needing a first down, leading only 14-13. Ivy Dees is wide to the right, Bolin's wide to the left. And Duff, looking at a four-man front, is going to throw the football on a fade pattern to Ivy Dees. He's going to catch it for a touchdown. Oh, he came back to the ball. Great, Rich. I mean, that's just a good receiver play by Ivy Dees. Desperately needing a first down, leading only 14-13. Ivy Dees is wide to the right, Bolin's wide to the left. And Duff, looking at a four-man front, is going to to the ball. Great, Rich. I mean, that's just a good receiver play by Ivy Dees.
Ivy Dees did exactly what he had to do. The ball was thrown up a little high. He just came back to the ball. The defenders just kept going. Made a good leaping catch. Found the end stripe. Touchdown, Lee Academy.
Good play by Ivy Dees. And the Lee Academy Colts leading 20-13. Looks like they will go for 2. Colts break huddle and send out Jack Laney, the center, leads the offensive line out. Colts will be in a wishbone formation. They're going to cover our tight end this time. And out of the wishbone, Duff is going to give the football to, he's going to fake the football and throw to the back out of the backfield. Could. Bradley Gordon catches it. Nice fake. Good fake by Stone Street, Rich. They're going to cover our tight end this time. And out of the wishbone. Bradley Gordon catches it. Nice fake. Good fake by Stone Street, Rich.
Really good play that time. Just froze all the Vikings out of the backfield. 2 points.
Good throw, good catch from senior quarterback Duff to Bradley Gordon.
Which puts Fayette 2 scores away.
They're 9 points down now, so a touchdown and a 2-point conversion does not tie you or beat you. So Andrew Duff kind of snaps out of the doldrums there and makes 2 good throws and 2 good completions. And that's good to see. And the Lee Academy Colts get their kickoff team into the football game, and Bradley Gordon will tee it up at the 40. Colts have broken on top 22-13, but I'll tell you from what I've seen, Fayette Academy will not quit, Rich.
They don't quit.
They've got Scott Ray deep. Bradley Gordon has it teed up at the 40. Waiting the referee's whistle.
Fayette ought to get good field position on this. Bradley kicking back into a little bit of a breeze.
And the whistle blows. And Rybolt approaches the football and gets the kick away, and it's another high kick that's going to be fielded again by Armour. And Armour is going to break a couple of tackles and going to get out over the 35-yard line and going to be tackled short of the 40 at about the 39.
I tell you, I like that Armour kid.
He's tough kid, 44. He plays good defense, got good speed, runs the football hard. Maybe we can get him to move down here. He's a senior, though. First down and 10 yards to go for Fayette. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. John Martin Harris in the football game for Bradley Rybolt. Out of the wishbone formation, they're going to run a pitch sweep. Colts are all over it. And they sack him and knock him down for a loss. They're going to say the football, he was down. Looked like he might have fumbled, but the referee is going to call it as being down. And that was good defense by the Lee Academy Green Shirts that time. Loss of about, let's call it no gain, 2nd down and 10. No fumble on the play. Runner was down. 1:16 to go in the third quarter. Fayette breaks the huddle with a split backfield and 3 wide receivers on 2nd down and 10. And Hicks is straight back in the pocket to throw. Looking, throws the football. It's going to be overthrown. Intended for the tight end, number 80. That's Brent Pratt. And it was overthrown. He was open, but the quarterback just missed him. 3rd down and 10 yards to go now for Fayette. Bradley Rybolt checks back into the game for John Martin Harris. 3rd down and 10 yards to go with 59 seconds to go in the third quarter. The ambulance has their lights turned on. Now they cut it off down there, showing a youngster what the lights look like, I guess. Hicks straight back to throw, looking, throws the football deep downfield. It's overthrown and intercepted and dropped by Christian Preuss.
Got a flag on the play at that time, though, Albert.
Football was overthrown and almost intercepted by Christian Preuss.
Probably a holding penalty coming up.
Holding against Fayette. And I'm sure we'll decline this penalty and make them punt, which will bring up 4th down and 10 yards to go. Holding against Fayette is declined. Lee Academy gets there. Lee Academy keeps their defense in the football game, obviously thinking they may try to run a fake here. And Bolin's going to get back to receive. Lee Academy Colts don't think they're going to punt. They think they're going to fake it. On 4th and 10, Armour is going to get the snap, and he is going to punt it. He gets the kick away, and this time it's a great kick. Driving Bolin back inside the 20. Bolin looking for a block, is going to stumble and get out over the 20-yard line, about the 21, before he stumbles down. Colts will have possession right there with 41 seconds to go in the third quarter. We get our offense back into the football game. See Chris Turman on the sidelines. Rich got his shoulder pads and helmet off. So he is walking around. That's good news. 1st down and 10 yards to go for the Colts from their own 22-yard line. We break huddle and send Bolin wide left, Ivy D's wide right. And Christian Preuss and Bradley Gordon are split behind senior quarterback Duff. Tight end Scott Flowers lined up on the right-hand side. And there's an inside handoff to Preuss. And Preuss is going to be knocked down for no gain. Might have lost a yard or two on the play. Did lose a yard. 2nd down 11. The third quarter's over. Third quarter's over. Coach lead 22-13. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy football. The 6th fumble for the Lee Academy Colts, as we had a mix-up in the backfield, and Duff just took it and really got a lot of running room right up the middle, had the football punched out from behind, and Fayette takes over 1st down and 10 yards to go from their own 34, from the Lee Academy's 34-yard line. 11:51 to go in the football game. Colts leading by 9, but still a lot of time.
That's the 9th fumble in this game tonight.
6 by us.
And 3 by them.
Fayette breaks the huddle with 3 wide receivers. And out of the I formation, Hicks is under center. He sprints to the right to throw. Getting pressure, is going to throw it out of the backfield to Ray. And Scott Flowers is going to knock him out of bounds. Short of the 30-yard line at the 31. And that will be a gain of about 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7. Coach got good pressure that time. And Hicks just had a back release out of the backfield, dumped it off to him, and he picked up 3 yards. 2nd and 7 for the Fayette Academy Vikings. Four-man front for the Colts. Split backfield for the Vikings. 3 wide receivers. They're going to run a draw to Armour. And Armour's into the secondary and gets 1st down yardage inside of the 25-yard line down to about the 22. I tell you, teams in that AA division better be ready for the Fayette Vikings, Rich.
They are a mighty impressive football team. They've looked good tonight. Like you said, they don't quit. Man, they just keep playing football.
11-10 to go in the football game. Colts on top 22-13. Defense needs to dig in. First down and 10 yards to go for Fayette. 4-man front for Lee Academy. 3 wide receivers for Fayette, and they're in an I formation. Hicks sprints to the right to throw. Looking for his back again, and this time he's just going to lead him too much. He's going to fall incomplete. Intended for Scott Ray, the tailback. Same play they picked up 3 yards on a minute ago. Brings up 2nd and 10. I tell you, if I was Fayette, I'd just run this Armour kid until he just fell out. 2nd down and 10. Taking them a long time to get the play in the game. 10:54 to go in the football game. They fixing to get a delay. 3 wide receivers. Hicks is going to run an inside handoff to Ray. And Ray gets good blocking and going to run the football inside the 15-yard line down to about the 14. Let's give him the 15. Youngster shaken up for the Fayette Vikings. Timeout's called on his behalf. Be 3rd down and 2 yards to go for Fayette.
Coach is coming out to see what the problem may be.
10:41 to go in the football game. Next week, Rich, we travel to Starkville. Captain Caraway will pilot us down there. Pull out about 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, 2:30. Might meet, Coach Jimmy Harris over at Mississippi State.
We're going to go to Mississippi State Union and eat.
Union eat. Dutch Street.
65 for Fayette Academy, shaking up on the play. He's up, walking off under his own power. It's Gary Perkins, 10th grader, 185-pound tackle. And Fayette Academy is going to take a timeout. Timeout on the field. Colts lead 22-13. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy football. Third down and 2 yards to go for Fayette Academy, and they're going to run a quarterback sneak, and he's going to get very, very close to the first down yardage. And I think he's going to have it as they stop the clock to look. May have a measurement. Nope, they're going to give him first down. First down and 10 yards to go for the Fayette Academy Vikings, trailing 22-13, but driving with 10:36 to go in the football game. Colt defense needs to stiffen up.
Take the fight to the Vikings.
Three wide receivers for Fayette, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. I formation. Hicks is going to give the football to Ray. Ray's going to break a tackle and going to fight inside the 10 down to about the 8. Sloppy tackling by the Colts. Russell Harris checks into the football game. And he'll bring out Chet Stanley at right defensive end. Pickup of 3 on the play by Ray, 2nd and 7. 9:54 to go in the game. They break huddle with 3 wide receivers again, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. And Hicks looking at a blitz, sprints out to the right. They're in motion. They dump it off to the tailback, and he's going to get into the end zone for a touchdown, but there's a flag on the play. We'll wait and see what this flag is.
Flag thrown in the backfield.
Illegal motion against Fayette is going to call that touchdown back. So the Colts are going to get a break as Fayette's going to get a touchdown call back.
And 5 more yards tacked onto that.
And 5 more yards tacked onto that, which will make it 2nd down and 12 from the 19-yard line. Got to get just inside the 2 for a first down. So let's call it 2nd and 12. 9:30 to go in the football game. When they catch the Colts in a blitz, Rich, they just releasing them back.
Right out in the flats.
Right out there where the linebacker's coming from and dumping it off. And have been successful with that tonight. 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs. Hicks going to run a draw play to Armour. And Armour's into the secondary. And Armour, again, sloppy tackling by the Colts. He scores a touchdown. From the 13-yard, they run from the Lee Academy's 13-yard line. They ran a draw play. And the Colts just could not tackle him. It makes it 22-19 with 9:05 to go in this football game. And I believe they're going to try to kick the 1-point conversion here to make it 22-20. Perkins will tee it up at the 10. Holder will be Armour. 9:05, which is an eternity in this football game to go. And they're fixing to attempt to make it 22-20. Snap is back. Good snap. The kick is up. The kick is good. Lee Academy 22. Fayette Academy 20. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy football. Teague has the football teed up at the 40. Wayne Boland and Bradley Gordon are standing at our 10, waiting to receive this kickoff. And I tell you, we better get some offense or we're going to lose this game, Rich. 9:05 to go in the game, and Teague gets the kick away, and it's a high kick that's going to be fielded by Boland at the 15. And right back up the right sideline he goes, looking for a little crack. He's going to bust out and going to be knocked down. Going to break loose. No, that was Chris Walker broke loose. Thought Chris had the football, but he didn't. Wayne Boland's tackled at about the 37.
I can assure you that Chris thought Wayne was right behind him.
First down and 10 yards to go for the Lee Academy Colts from their own 37. Andrew Duff gets into the football game. Clock is running. Colts leading 22-20. 8:49 to go in the football game. Colts with a wide receiver left, slot to the left. Stone Street and Gordon are split behind Duff. And there's an inside handoff to Gordon. Brandon Gordon's in the secondary. He's down the sidelines. He's got to miss one guy. Now they catch up with him. Pursuit catches him and knocks him down inside the 20 at about the 15. Street and Gordon are split behind Duff. He's got to miss one guy. Now they catch up with him. Pursuit catches him and knocks him down inside the 20 at about the 15. Great individual effort. Good blocking up front by the Lee Academy offensive front. And then once Bradley Gordon got to the outside, it's just sheer speed. The Colts get a first down inside of Fayette Academy's 20 at the 17-yard line. 8:18 to go in the football game. And I tell you, showing a little bit of character out there now, Rich.
Excellent run by Gordon that time. I mean, we got our backs to the wall, been stumbling around, excellent run that time.
Christian Preuss gives Bradley Gordon a little break after that great run. And we're in an I formation with Stone Street close and Preuss deep. Wide receivers to the right and to the left. And we're going to give the football to Christian Preuss off left tackle. And Christian Preuss is into the secondary.
Touchdown.
Christian Preuss scores a touchdown! Great drive by the Lee Academy Colts right when I had sold them out. 7:46 to go in the football game. And that offensive line of Jack Laney, John Martin Harris, Kerry Middleton, Richard Lewis, Scott Flowers, and Jonathan Poole opened a gaping hole for Christian Preuss. And the Lee Academy Colts, leading 28-20 now, will go for two. And we come out in a wishbone formation with two tight ends, Chet Stanley and Scott Flowers. Stone Street, Preuss, and Gordon are the running backs. And they're sending everybody. And we're going to run a pitch sweep to Bradley Gordon, and he's going to try to get to the end zone and going to dive in and get it. Colts lead 30-20. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Colt football.
For 1 out.
By the Lee Academy offensive line, Jack Laney and John Martin Harris, Kerry Middleton, Richard Lewis, Jonathan Poole, and Scott Flowers opened a gaping hole for Christian Preuss, and right up the middle he ran, almost untouched into the end zone, got hit about the 5-yard line, fought his way into the end zone. Good effort. Colts lead 30-20. Just when I had sold it short, Rich, we came back.
Absolutely. Gordon and Preuss that time took it on in for the Colts, and I tell you what, Bradley Gordon did a fine job getting into the end zone for that 2-point conversion.
Bradley Rybolt will tee it up at the 40. And Scott Ray, number 2, will be standing at about his own 17-yard line. You know, you sort of got the feeling that Fayette was kind of just laying in the weeds waiting on us. They knew they had a pretty good team. And, of course, they've been helped by 6 fumbles and about 80 yards in penalties. Rybolt gets the kick away, another high kick. It's going to be fielded by Armour. I believe I'd kick it away from him. And right up the middle he comes, and he's going to go all the way. Armour is going to go all the way. And he's going to run the kickoff back for a touchdown. We keep kicking it to him. 7:33 to go in the football game. And Armour has carried it the distance to make it 30-26.
I like that Armour kid. He's a good ball player.
7:33 to go in the football game. And Fayette has struck like lightning.
There ain't no breathing room in this game, Albert.
Man, that guy's pretty quick. I bet we don't kick it to him next time. 7:33 to go. We have timeout by Fayette. Timeout's on the field. 30-26 is the score. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy football. 7:33 to go in the football game. Fayette Academy will go for 2, and that way a field goal will win the football game at the end if they make it. They line up, and they're going to sprint to the right, running a flood pattern. They're going to throw it to the tailback out of the backfield. He's not going to make it. Good defense by Scott Flowers and Jack Laney. Stop Scott Ray. And the score is 30-26 in favor of the Lee Academy Colts. And Fayette Academy will kick off. Number 69, Jason Teague. 7:33, still a lot of time, Rich.
Got to give credit to our guys, though. They've seen that play so many times tonight, you know, just releasing that back right out of the backfield. They were ready for it. Denied them that 2 points. Gives them a 4-point advantage, 7.5 minutes to go in this ball game.
Good play by Jack Laney and Scott Flowers. I tell you, Fayette's pretty tough up front. They got some pretty beefy linemen. And
I tell you, you got to respect that Fayette ball club.
Oh, man, I tell you. Coach Weiss told me last night they were good. He thought other than Canton Academy, they could be the best AA team in the state. Coach got our onside kick receiving team up. All of our receivers, tight ends, and backs up close to the 50-yard line expecting an onside kick.
I see George Miller out there.
Number 12, Jim Walker. Number 16, Andy Harris, are deep. And we are expecting an onside kick. I think they're going to kick it deep. 7:33 to go in the game. T kicks it deep, and it's going to be fielded by Andy Harris. And Andy Harris is coming right back up the middle, looking for a block, gets a little bit of a crease, is going to be upended out over the 30-yard line at about the 31. Good play by Andy Harris. Number 16, junior wide receiver. The Colt offense needs to control the football with 7:25 to go in this game. Andrew Duff gets in. Colts lead 30-26. Clock is running.
They need to have a 69-yard drive in about 7.5 minutes is what they need.
Andrew Duff under the center with his back split. Gordon and Stone Street. Wide receivers both sides. And we're going to run the inside handoff to Gordon. And Gordon's going to be tackled out over the 32-yard line to the 33. Gain of about 2 on the play. Make it 2nd down and 8. It's been a good football game, Rich.
An excellent football game. Back and forth, just like a tennis match, man.
Yeah, a little bit like a tennis match, I guess.
Well, you said back and forth.
6:39 to go in the football game.
Or did I say that?
I formation for the Colts, 5-man front for Fayette. Duff gives it to Gordon. Gordon's going to be stopped short of the 35-yard line. Brings up 3rd down and 7 yards to go now for the Lee Academy Colts. 6:14 to go in the game. Clock is running. Coach going to get Ivy Dees into the game, replacing George Miller at one of the wideouts with a play from Coach Ricky Weiss on 3rd down and 7. Big play here for the Colts. Need a 1st down. Stone Street and Gordon are split behind Duff. Wide receivers on both sides, Bolin and Dees, and we're going to call timeout. Colts have to take a timeout. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Football. .542 to go in the football game. Colts faced with 3rd down and 7 yards to go. Possession play. Stone Street and Gordon are split behind Duff. Wide receivers are Dees and Bolin, wide right and left respectively. They're showing blitz. Now they're backing out. Colts are in motion. Colts were in motion, and Stone Street's going to get the 1st down, but it's coming back. And that's going to be a 5-yard step off against the Lee Academy Colts, and the Colts have made enough mistakes tonight to lose 3 football games, Rich.
Yep, they have.
3rd down, it's going to make it 3rd down and 12 now for the Lee Academy Colts. As we get a 5-yard step off. And I'm going to tell you, Coach Ricky Weiss is not a happy camper standing on that sidelines. I formation for the Lee Academy Colts. Wide receivers right and left. Dees and Lively. Duff on 3rd and 12. He's going to run a pitch sweep to Gordon. Gordon trying to get to the corner. Is going to be knocked down for a loss. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage. Brings up 4th down for the Lee Academy Colts, and we're going to have to punt the football.
Another flag on the play. We were offsides that time. Guilty of motion.
Illegal motion against the Lee Academy Colts. I'm sure that will be declined. Bring up 4th down for the Colts. And we're going to have to punt the football. Now we got to have a good snap. And we got to have a good punt. And they got Ray and Perkins deep. I'd put that Armour kid back. Jack Laney snapping. Good snap. Bolin going to get it away and going to get a drive and kick away. It's going to be fair caught by Perkins. He fumbles and the Colts get it. I think the Lee Academy Colts got it. And the Colts do have it. Costly fumble for the Fayette Academy Vikings as number 22, Justin Perkins, a flanker, comes up and tries to fair catch it. Who recovered it? Number 84, Chet Stanley. Down with good coverage, and the Colts have it. First down and 10 yards to go from inside of Fayette Academy's territory at the 43, leading 30-26 in what has been a nail-biter here at Lee Academy Field. Colts send wide receivers right and left, and out of the split backfield. Duff under the center. Going to give the football to Stone Street. He's into the secondary. He's inside the 30. He's down to about the 28-yard line before he's finally knocked down. I tell you, Stone Street's played a good football game tonight, Rich.
He's looked really good. He's been a strong runner. Been hit a lot. Hurt a little bit. Bounces back, though.
George Miller checks into the game for the Colts with a play from Coach Ricky Weiss, bringing out Ivy Dees. And on first down and 10 yards to go, Lee Academy coach break huddle and send Wayne Bolin wide to the left. George Miller's in the slot to the left. Stone Street's close. Gordon's deep out of the I formation. They're just disregarding the pass completely. They have got 11 guys stacked up on the line of scrimmage. And we're going to run the football off left tackle to Gordon. Great move to get to the outside. He's inside the 20 and going to be pushed out of bounds at about the 9-yard line. Rich, you see him. He came almost to a complete stop right off left tackle and just bounced outside.
Well, like you said, they almost had 11 men on the line of scrimmage, completely disregarding the pass. But when you get somebody with the ability that Gordon has, changes directions and the speed that he has, he makes up a lot of ground in a quick amount of time.
We have a timeout on the field called by the officials there. Now we're ready. 3:32 to go in the football game. Jack Laney breaks the huddle and leads the offensive line out. John Martin Harris, Kerry Middleton, Richard Lewis, Jonathan Pooh, Chet Stanley, and Scott Flowers, and a wishbone formation for the Colts. Preuss, Gordon, and Stone Street. And we give it to Christian Preuss off left tackle, and he's going to be stuffed. No gain on the play. Make it second down and goal to go from about the 8. Might have even lost a yard. 3:19 to go in the football game. Clock is running.
I tell you, we can slip that tight end out and score a touchdown on this next play, Albert.
Second down and goal to go from the 8. Colts break huddle. Out of the wishbone formation, Stone Street, Preuss, Gordon. 2 tight ends, Stanley and Flowers. Duff going to fake the football and just run a naked bootleg, and Andrew Duff's going to run it in for a touchdown. Andrew Duff, good ball fake, and just kept it and runs the football into the end zone and makes it 36-26. Gives the Colts our 10-point lead again. And we're going to try to kick the extra point to give us an 11-point lead. Ivy Dees will tee it up at the 10. And Andrew Duff, good play there. Showed good speed too, Rich.
He did. He got to the corner extremely well.
George Miller will hold at the 10. Jack Laney will snap. And Ivy Dees will kick to try to put the Colts up by 11. Snap is back. The kick is up. Good kick. The kick is good. Lee Academy 37, Fayette Academy 26. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy football. Bradley Rybold has it teed up at the 40. The last time we kicked off, and we kicked the ball on the ground, it's going to be fielded by Armour again. And he's coming up the sidelines. This time we got him corralled, and we're going to knock him down back about the 31-yard line. So the Lee Academy Colts go on defense from the Fayette 33-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go for the Vikings. Colts lead 37-26, 2:30 to go in the football game. Clock is running. Vikings break huddle and send 3 wide receivers, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Split backfield. Hicks is under the center. Going to give the football to Armour. He's not going to get anything. Lee Academy Colts all over him. Bradley Rybold, Richard Lewis, Chet Stanley, and Jag Laney. Good job up front by the Lee Academy defense. John Martin Harris checks into the football game for the Colts, bringing out Rybold.
Colts gone into their 2-minute defense, 11-point lead mode now.
Fayette Academy breaks huddle, sends wide receivers to the right and to the left. And Hicks is under the center. Sprints to the right to throw. Looking, getting pressure, and just going to dump it off. Receiver fell down. Scott Race fell down, and Hicks just had to get rid of it or take a big loss as Richard Lewis and Jack Laney were in there putting pressure. John Martin Harris putting pressure. It almost looked like Richard Lewis's jersey was pulled off over his head. Now, how do you do that if you're not holding? 1:26 to go in the football game. Coach showing blitz, and they give it on the inside handoff to the tailback, and he's going to be stopped for no gain. Brings up 4th down. 4th down and about 11. 84 Chet Stanley on a good job on defense for the Lee Academy Colts. 4th and 11. Clock is running, approaching the 1-minute mark now in the football game. (37-26) is the score. And they break huddle. And Armour is the punter. With 41 seconds to go in the football game. Snap is back, and they're going to kick it. Don't understand that play. Takes a Lee Academy bounce and going to be down at the 39-yard line. With 25 seconds to go in the football game, let's see what the call is. Illegal procedure against the Fayette Vikings, and the Lee Academy Colts, I'm sure, will decline this and take the football. First down and 10 yards to go at the 39. About 2 plays is all we got.
Colts going to win this one 37-26 probably, but it's going to be a well-earned and well-fought victory.
Hard-fought football game against a very good Fayette Academy Viking football team. Clock is running. Might not have another play. Duff checks into the game with 20 seconds, 19 seconds, and we're just going to let it run out.
Yeah,
Colts are going to win the football game 37-26. And as the clock runs out, we're going to pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors, and we'll be back in 1 minute with a wrap-up. This has been Lee Academy Football.
Straighten up, baby. I'm going back to my old used to be. My father had an aching heart. He said, son, don't let us part. My sweetheart, she cried, and I cried a little bit too. I didn't have the will